All right.
All right. Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Hey, we've got a fourth on the table today.
That is me.
Yes. So Terry's like one of our newer team members to Team Real, and we've been dying to kind of know like what her experiences are coming in because she really did something cool. Just went to ADCC, Miami, jumping right back into all the competitions and then traveling and then going and competing and doing really well. We heard, saw some highlights.
Thank you. I tried. Yeah, no, it was fun. So for background, I guess I've been doing jiu-jitsu now 5.5, going on maybe 6 years, something like that. Somewhere around there. I was in and out at the start a little. But it was super fun to go into like Miami and all of that because I had actually been taking a little hiatus from competing and all that. So it had been, I had the fight to win before, like the month before, and then I did Miami. But in general, I had been out of the competition scene for like a year and a half sort of thing. So,
Wow.
So it was interesting getting back in. And Miami was my first travel one. So it was a really good time. It was fun.
So your fight to win was your first big match back into the competitive scene?
Yeah, well, because I hadn't done ADCC before at all. And so I kind of wanted, in my mind, I was going to do something local, but lower pressure than fight to win.
Like a grappling and
yeah, like something like that. Yeah. So I wanted to get something out of the way before ADCC just so that I could kind of, I don't know, get my nerves settled a bit better and stuff like that. But fight to win came up, and so I ended up being able to get a match for that. So I did that, which was, oh my God, the adrenaline dump after that was crazy because it was like, you get the stage and the lights and the music and all that, which was super fun. And it was cool to like have that experience and go out there. Because I had only done one super fight before that. And that was actually my last competition before. So I had done a super fight, took the year and a half off, and then came back and did the fight to win. So it was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, you did well. It was fun to be there and watch you.
Thanks. Oh yeah, you guys went.
Oh yeah.
It was a good time.
I was watching at my couch. It was very nice. very cool experience, I bet. Well, so what about what brought you into jiu-jitsu? You said you started about 5.5 years ago.
Yeah, so initially, like coming into jiu-jitsu, it was kind of funny. I was listening to your guys' first podcast and everything, first episode, I should say. It's always interesting hearing everyone's different starting points and all that. But I think one thing that I realized with you guys was like all of you, and I think it tends to be more of the case, is like you start and you're like kind of immediately hooked on it, was kind of the sense that I got. I was kind of the opposite to an extent. And so I started, and it was honestly more so a like, I came in with like a little bit of my own traumas and stuff. And it was almost in a sense like I was at a point where I didn't really feel like I had a lot of like power or control within like myself, and that's not a fun place to be, so I had some friends that were wrestlers, and when the classic, like they couldn't wrestle in college anymore, so they went into jiu-jitsu, and I always thought it was interesting and stuff, and I kind of thought it was my way to kind of help get that sense of power and control back for myself, and honestly almost like a kind of like exposure therapy, but like the deep end of it, like throw yourself back in. So that was kind of my reasoning for starting. But so to that point, it wasn't for me, at least. It was like, I respected the sport. I thought it was cool and all that. And, I like watched UFC as like a casual thing and always thought it was cool. But when I started, it was more of like I would attach it to like lifting to my workout. So it was like, cause they had like a gym there and stuff like that. So it was like, okay, I'm going to I'm gonna get my lift in, so that means I have to go to practice. Sort of thing.
They're gonna see me there.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Oh, no.
I can't dip.
Can't just,
They're gonna call me out. Oh no.
Like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah, right. I should have gone incognito. No. But yeah, so honestly, at the beginning at least, it was a little bit more of just having to like be more disciplined in it and more just disciplined and dedicated to like, I'm going to do this sort of thing. Less so like, oh my gosh, like this is great. I love it, you know, sort of thing. So that's how I started at least. And then
was your first class with co-ed or was it just women?
it was co-ed. My first was co-ed. And yeah, so there was, let's see, I'm trying to think. One of the coaches though was a female coach, so that was cool to see. And there was like I think there was like one or two other like somewhat smaller girls in there and stuff. So I had at least
Couple training
Some
partners.
people.
that to kind of start out with.
So just to go back a little, so you know, you were saying your wrestler friends. So was it like peer pressure? They see you lift with them, and they're like, "You don't get on the mats now," or was it like a positive peer pressure, that turned into a self discipline, or what do you think?
So no, it was never really like like them being like, oh, and even then I wouldn't necessarily say like that, because they didn't train at like that gym. Yeah, because they ended up like when they graduated, they ended up going their own ways and everything. But it was more so just like I gained a little more insight and respect for like grappling as a sport in general, because I would, you know, go to the meets and then and or like and of course the guys being guys, like sometimes at the house parties, you know, everyone's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do whatever, and they would start showing off some of the they would start showing off some of the jiu-jitsu things too, and so I always thought it was interesting. But yeah, so it was more so just I don't even know if I ever fully expressed to them like, oh, I'm interested in it, but it was more so just like exposure to it from there.
I get you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at what point did the flip switch where you're like, okay, now I want to go to the gym to train, and then maybe I'll get a lift in afterwards?
Yeah, right. That's a fair question. So because I started before COVID, and I remember COVID happened, and they were actually doing like kind of some virtual stuff with it too, as far as like still keeping up on some technique, which was cool. Honestly, I think that was also really nice for me, because then less of the like having to get over the mental barrier of like all the contact and stuff. I could focus a little bit more on just like what the technique itself was. So in a way, honestly, like COVID kind of helped me to like just learn some of like the technique and understand some of those concepts a little bit better without having to also kind of go through the like my mental hurdles of just like the physical aspect of it all. So I honestly feel like after COVID, and once like because I was during undergrad, I'd kind of like come in and out. I'd go travel and see my family lives in California, at least my dad's side. So I'd like when I was gone over there, I wasn't really the kind that would like go seek out a gym over there or stuff like that, you know? So then once I started up grad school and I was like consistently over here and had a more consistent routine and all of that, then that's when I feel like I started really getting more into like, oh, hey, like I enjoy this. And like I wanted to more so for the sport aspect of it than just start to build up my skills and stuff like that. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I started in the gi actually,
Which
is funny. So
for the record, we've never seen Terry in the gi since
know.
she started
Yeah,
here. Real movement.
it's like in my defense, I like to also partially blame it on work schedule, you know?
That's how I got to mostly gi.
Yeah.
There's one day a week I can or no gi. There's only one day a week I can do gi now.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, my murder pajamas. They're so heavy.
They are heavy. It's so hot.
I know. To be fair, I'm a baby for the gi now in the summer. I'm like, oh gosh.
Thank you. Agreed.
But yeah, because at least here it's like the gi class and then the no gi. And most of the time I make it sometimes either halfway through the gi or like as no gi starting. But there was once I came early and And like Christy was like, oh my gosh, like you're here really blah blah blah, like you can do the gi class. And I was like, I didn't pack a gi, like I got out of work early. It was unexpected. I didn't pack a gi, but then she hit me with, I have. Yeah. Classic Christy always has extra.
She's everything in her car. I mean, I swear to God.
And she's like, I have an extra gi. And I was like, I'm just going to live. So I was like, I don't have an excuse. I was like, it was going to be my lifting day too anyway. So I was like, I can't do all three. Gi, no gi, and lift. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Christy will get anybody anywhere. I will tell a story later about how she will get anybody anywhere to roll.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, you've taken away all my excuses. Thanks. It doesn't matter that we're in public.
Your hospital floor.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
But to be fair, I do still like the gi. Especially I'll like cross train sometimes on the weekends and I'll do more of it there and whatnot. I just haven't done it over here yet. I will. You will see it.
We'll believe it when we see it.
Yeah. There you go.
So do you want to jump
Meanwhile,
to more ADCC, your memories, your feelings about that? Do you want to tell us more kind of about like the beginnings of it? What do you, I want to know all of it. So
With the trip, I'm trying to think kind of how because Will, my boyfriend, also does jiu-jitsu. Yeah,
I would use one of these, but I don't know what does what.
I don't know.
Just hit a random one.
Yeah,
It'll be fun.
Try the pink one in the front.
Let's do it.
That
wasn't that fun.
Sorry,
Will.
Will.
Yeah.
We're cutting out your name.
Try
My
try
boyfriend.
Try another
in case, you never know. No, I'm kidding.
one.
I don't know what
Oh,
that
that one might not have been programmed.
That didn't do
is. All right,
anything.
well.
We'll figure it out.
Kyle will
Okay.
give us
So
a
fun.
lowdown when we ask later.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
But no, so he a while ago had like he was gonna compete in ADCC and then he got injured around that time when it was like in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like September last year.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And so he got like a credit for it. So we had kind of been
nice.
so that was nice. So we had in general been like, okay, well we will do an ADCC at some point, within this next year. And so we were just kind of looking at what was coming up because we knew there wasn't going to be one in Chicago at least anytime soon, as far as I've heard. And so we were between Miami or Texas because my brother lives down in Texas. So we were like, maybe that. And then we talked to like Joey and them and we're kind of seeing and they were like, we'd do Miami. So that was kind of like the beginnings of it was like, okay, cool. So especially once we got like some of the group on board and all that, then we're like, okay, like gotta lock in now.
I mean, it's unique that like Team Real like travels the way that they do with like the camaraderie and everything. So I think that's like really fun.
Yeah.
It's our goal like to tag along because they end up getting a really nice like Airbnb.
Yeah.
They like really make a time of it and really focus on like the competing and then then you guys took a little vacation.
Yeah, exactly. So it was cool. We had kind of wanted to do a little travel trip, and then it was just the bonus that we could compete with it. So so we went out because the competition was on a Saturday. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We went out on Friday, which our flight got canceled the night before too, which was really convenient. But we ended up, I had to drop a little extra for it, but we still got our flight out and we're like, okay, we're going to do it. Won't let this, like dampen it or anything like that. We got to hang out. It was also my first time like cutting any weight. So that was also a different experience, but it was cool. At least with that, I had kind of known ahead of time that, this competition was coming up. So I had just probably like a month before just started, being aware of my portions a little bit more, saying no to a little more sweet treats and stuff like that. That's my weakness, at least. So I only had probably like, I want to say like 4 or 5 pounds, something like that.
Which is average
water
when
weight.
you're a dude for cutting.
Yeah.
But, I know we'll have a whole episode to talk about women and weight cuts and things soon.
Yeah,
but,
so
I'm glad that it went well.
Yeah, so it honestly wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be because again, I'm a baby for the heat, so I was like, I don't want a sauna.
You didn't want a sauna? Oh,
no. So I didn't end up going in a sauna, which was nice. So Yeah, so I think I had like 3 or 4 pounds. I just like travel day, didn't eat pretty much anything. And then we got there and I just sunbathed outside for a while because it was so hot and humid. So I was like, perfect. Normally I jump in the pool.
Just a sauna that way.
Yeah. So that, and then I think we had maybe like a half hour before like everyone was gonna go, and I was like, oh, okay, I got to speed this up. So I threw on like a sweatshirt and sweats and all of that, and hung out a bit outside there. But yeah, I made weight, and it was all good and dandy. Got to eat a bunch of food after, which was the best part. But yeah, competition day was a bit crazy, but it was fun. It was good. It was just busy. Much is probably the better word. Because with having a big group, it was cool because, you know, so many people to cheer on and all of that. But it was like, at least for me, I don't know, I like going and watching everyone's match sort of thing. So we got there around like 11-ish. And I didn't end up going on to compete until like 9:30 or 10 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
So it was a long day, and
I didn't realize that much time.
yeah. And
given that you had such a long gap, like how do you get your mind right? Because I struggled with that when I went in November.
Yeah.
And it was like a long gap for the women's thing.
yeah.
And I was like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? Just sit here and like you get so amped up
Yeah.
and then you like drop. At least
Yeah.
I
Oh my
did.
gosh. Yeah. That's honestly, as I was there day of, because I didn't know I was going on that late. Initially, I think
It's probably like 4 o'clock.
yeah,
initially.
exactly.
Kinda
Initially, I think
back-
it said I was
pushed
going to
back
be
further
going
and
on
further.
at like 4 or 5, and then it just kept climbing, sort of thing. And even then, like my prior competition experience was pretty much all like IBJJF, and it's the opposite for IBJJF. The women normally go like in the morning, unless you do So like if you do the gi, it was normally in the morning for the women, and then if you did no gi, it was like around 3 or 4. Sort of thing. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, so that was my first time really having to like experience that. And it was tough because at least at the beginning, yeah, I was super excited, just cheering everyone on, going back and forth. Even part of it was like, I didn't know like how much to eat throughout the day or like things like that. Cause I was like, well, I want to still have like energy and sustain myself.
You just
but
don't want it to come up.
Yeah, exactly.
At the
but
wrong
also, and or even what kind of foods to
Yes.
eat, because I don't want anything like too heavy where I'm just gonna be like groggy and stuff after. So that was a whole other aspect of it too. But yeah, I pretty much ran around and watched almost everyone else's match.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kept busy.
Yeah, and then so Will had a bunch of matches, and he literally like his bronze medal match was like 15 minutes before I was supposed to go on and compete. And it was and so it was hard because I was like I mean, I want to watch this match.
Yes.
I'm gonna, you know, and even then it was funny because it got to a point where I was kind of losing track of time just because as everyone was going on, I was just like, okay, cool, you know, and then it was almost like, oh my gosh, like, wait a second, I need to get myself like ready, and I need to get myself in the mindset for it. Even like, I remember I had like, I don't know, like a vitamin water or whatever it was. And like, you know, at first I was offering everything like, Will, do you need this? Do you want this? Do you want whatever? And then there was only like half of my thing left or whatever. And I was like, Will, do you want some? And I was like, wait, take a small sip. I was like, I need some too. I was like, I'm about to go on. I was like,
Hold on.
But yeah, so I did get to watch his match, which was cool. And then I conveniently was like on the total opposite end of the gym for my match.
Of course.
So I like jogged over and I was like, it's okay, this is the warm up, you know, like in my head. And all that. And even then I got there and it ended up getting pushed back like another 20 minutes. So I was like, all right,
And
whatever.
and then you're trying to like peek down the mat to see what's going on. You're like, oh, I
Yeah.
gotta stay here, but I'm watching.
Yeah, and I actually also I had not slept that well the night before either. I think I got like 4 hours.
That's
'cause
probably part of the-
someone was snoring quite a bit. But
no.
yeah, so yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that was, I definitely had a bit of like a crash for a bit.
I would think
Leading,
so.
yeah.
Just the hours in between.
Yeah,
and
it was
travel.
so it was hard from that aspect. I remember like telling people around me, I was like, I have to wake up. Like I just started like, you know, just bouncing around a little and getting people to help amp me up a little bit. And so that was the aspect that was nice of having like some of the other teammates and then and honestly watching like watching people's matches, like you get that energy from hyping other people up and stuff like that too. So once I went in and all that, my first match, honestly, first match I think sometimes is almost, at least for me, it's like when it's a tournament, like first match is kind of the harder match to me, just because it's like the initial like okay, getting out there, you feel more of the like nerves initially. At least that's been my experience with it. So yeah, I went out there and what happened? Oh yeah, I took her down and then it was the whole ADCC point where I was like, I was holding her down for a while and I knew that the points were coming up soon. So I didn't want to pass yet because I was like, oh, I want to wait until
playing the game. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of like, I was just holding her for a bit, still being like active and wiggling my way so that when the points came on, it would just be like a kind of easy pass at that point. Points came on, but she was also very aware of that. So, and I kind of rushed it a little too. So she ended up getting up from there and, and then in my head, I was kind of like, man, like I let this go, sort of thing. So, that happened. She ended up at some point taking me down. But it wasn't a hold. She didn't get points on it yet, cause she was like working towards the back. So there was a little bit of a time frame in the middle where I was like, oh my gosh, like, I might lose this match, but I ended up getting a knee bar off of her, like her attempt to get to the back and all that. So that was cool, which was also really exciting because I have like never even, I don't think I've ever hit like a knee bar live in training. Yeah.
I was gonna interrupt with a really sweet story because you guys came back that weekend. We're at Open Mat. And Will is wrestling around with somebody that comes to visit who's like classic wrestler, and he pulls this knee bar on him. And the kid goes, "Wow, that was so cool." And Will, so genuine. "Oh my gosh, you should have seen my girlfriend. She got a knee bar last weekend at ADCC." And I learned that it was just like,
that's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to save that. That's just very, very sweet of it. Maybe that'll make up for the snoring. But I mean, just like, looked him right in the eye and he's just like, you should have seen her. I was like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, very good.
Oh, took you long enough.
Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you.
Take sips from everyone.
Oh, nice.
Which one was the best one?
This is our owner
This one?
I'm gonna guess this.
of Real Movement
you.
Martial Arts making a guest appearance
Oh,
and
yes.
our delivery
Thank you.
of
You
our
are the
Starbucks. This is Joey.
Okay. I thought you were
The
going to go with
real
like, I don't
deal.
drink coffee.
Thank you.
You're the best. Say hi.
Get out of
Thank you
here.
so
You picked me up. It's going good.
Yeah. It's going
You're
good.
gonna have to tune in and listen next week.
Yes.
Listen to it from the outside.
Okay. Thank you. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Joey.
you.
oh, this isn't bad.
Good
Is that your
little
first time
I got
having
good
this?
taste.
fun interruption.
Yeah, we
Oh.
needed a delivery.
So
It's quality.
we were talking about ADCC, talking about
No paparazzi, please.
your knee bar for your first match.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of crazy because
Yeah.
what was that, Friday? Yesterday? 2 days ago. You literally told me, you're like, I don't do knee bars, and now I'm trying to do knee bars. I'm like,
That's awesome.
you hit a knee bar in ADCC.
Yeah.
So
that was
first tournament back.
That was the inspiration.
Yes,
was,
the
I was
Band-Aid's off now. Everybody's getting knee bar.
Yeah.
I was like,
Dang.
oh, knee bars are they're kind of handy, So I'm just trying to find my openings for them a little more. But yeah, so got that one, which was cool too, just because I was like, okay, like I've gained some more like just general awareness of like, oh, okay, different techniques, where things are, where the openings are and stuff like that. So that was cool. Yeah, and then second match, ended up heel hooking the girl. I want to say it was like within the minute sort of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, she pulled, and as I was kind of going to pass, ended up just grabbing a hold of the foot, going back. It was kind of funny because like, I don't know, the video is probably funny because like I don't think the ref was like fully paying attention during it.
Yeah.
So like, and at least like from what I know, it's like you stop when the ref calls it, you
Yes,
know?
yeah.
And so yeah, so it was like I did it and she tapped, but he didn't like say anything. So then I like, and the girl was cool. Like she wasn't gonna be one that was gonna like act like it didn't happen or anything like that. But we both kind of like looked at each other, and then I just like put it on again.
Just to be safe.
and then like she tapped again, and then the ref was like, oh, okay, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. So it was kind of funny because it was just kind of like, okay, you know.
Yeah, you gotta like look at the ref and be like, did you see?
Yeah, I was like,
That's also some really good sportsmanship. between
yeah,
the two
yeah,
of
no,
you.
she was awesome.
Yeah, you guys really go out to kill each other at ADCC, but like, yeah, not
the
the
same
women.
time,
We
yeah.
still want, like, we want to win, but also we're not going to take your career from you.
Yeah, so no, she was cool. And then my finals match, the girl,
You
I
took her
mean,
for a walk, right?
That was,
I did. That was funny, but she was a dog. I mean, I remember watching her matches before, and to be fair, like she must have been so tired going into that match because yeah, she went into overtime, I think, on both of her matches beforehand, and I saw her like eat some arm bars and yeah, and so and then from there she would reverse the position and she ended up with getting points, and she
nice.
like she would win her matches. So like I knew she was she was tough with it, and I remember telling like the people around, I was like, okay, she clearly is not gonna tap to any joint lock. So I was like, all right, my best bet is choke her out and or just like win on points sort of thing. So yeah, so that was at least my mindset going into it. And then so I was like, advantage that I kind of got to watch a little before.
Oh yeah, all that wait time.
well, it's part of playing the game. There's nothing wrong with watching, studying, and doing exactly
and
what
to be
you
fair,
did.
they all watched
It's
my
got to
matches
see,
before
yeah.
too. So, but yeah, so then on that one, it was we never hit the ground on that one. We just we were hand fighting, and at some point, I got her in like the front headlock position, and then I was starting to play around with like some trips and all that from it, and she like sprawled her hips back because I was starting to like try to kick at her legs a bit. And when she did that, I was able to like sink it in more. And I remember it was funny because at least like everyone afterward was telling me, they're like, we were so confused like why you were holding on to it and like walking with her because we didn't think like you had it in that deep or anything. But it was,
You're like, I know what I have.
yeah, so it was so I got that, and at some point the reason I knew was because I heard a gurgle, and then I was like, oh okay. I was like, I can keep doing this. So, and at that point it was 10 o'clock, like nobody else was competing. Granted, I could have walked off onto the cement mat and like kept going, and it would have been fine. But yeah, so I just walked around to the mats after and just kept hipping in, going up, and eventually got the tap on that one. So
That
so
was
yeah.
for first place.
Yeah, so that was
Awesome.
my
Yeah.
medal. So I had 3 matches for first.
So to come back from a year and a half of not competing, just training hard, finding a gym, finding the gym, and then coming to train hard, and then going to fight to win, winning that in a crazy hard match. It looked, it was insane.
that was
watching
intense.
that.
That was a fun one too. Because initially for that I had reached out and honestly it was kind of last minute. You were actually one of the reasons I ended up doing it, because I'm a little more in my head sometimes. Well, most times I should say, honestly, like most times I'm a little bit more in my head. And I think that's like going into competition as like a female in the sport. I think it could be hard to gauge, or at least for me, I should say, it's hard to gauge sometimes like where I'm fully at or like where my progress is, because I will be the kind, which I'm working on it, but like if I do well against somebody like bigger, like one of the bigger guys or like whatever it is, I'm like, okay, they were going easy on me, or they were like letting me work, whatever it was. And then if I don't do well against them, I'm like, oh my God, I'm, like I suck or whatever, or like I still need to work on things, or which
At least you're aware that you do this, and then you can talk yourself. It's a lot of self-talk.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
That's
Because
fair.
I was definitely not concerned of your skill whatsoever. I'm like, I just have confidence in you.
Yeah, so
I'll have it
I
for you.
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
So
But yeah, because I joined with you guys, just like February, March. I guess I started kind of coming in February, but since I had gotten my new job and all that, I was still kind of like
adjusting
not
hours,
sure.
and
Yeah,
schedules, right?
I was kind of seeing what made sense for my schedule and logistics and all that. And then I think I like officially signed up, whatever, March, April, and then like started going from there. But I will say to the gym's credit, to your guys' credit and all that, like I feel like instantly it was a very like, no, like you're talented, you have a good game with the A, B, or C. It like really helped just kind of get my confidence up with it.
Good.
Because I guess, I at least maybe within myself, I need to work on having a little bit more of that, but so it was refreshing.
A common thread. Yeah, I think that's
we
a
all
common
have
thread.
that.
Yeah, so it was really nice to have people around me building me up, even though like you guys had just met me, sort of thing, or like officially and all that. So that was a big factor that ended up pushing me to like end up reaching out for that match.
Nice.
Awesome.
And yeah, so
And she's got another one in September.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
The Jeff Curran Invitational. So
yeah, so that'll be fun. So I initially reached out for that match.
Well, and I hooked you up there.
Yeah, you did.
We're just all hooking you up, Terry.
we're just like, she's ready. Let's get this going.
Joy's awesome. You guys will have fun.
It'll be a very fun match.
She's good. I've trained with her for years. So.
Yeah,
So it'll be a good
So I'm
time.
looking forward to it.
Good. We are too.
Yeah, and then but for Fight to Win, it was I think the first girl said no. Second girl I had gone against already. And she was actually, funny enough, I was kind of like, oh, it'd be interesting to have that matchup because she was the last person I had competed against. She was my super fight before.
Okay.
I had taken a break. Yeah, so it would have been kind of cool to, and she was tough. But she was my last match before I had taken my break. So I was like, oh, it'd kind of come full circle if like then she was my first match back, But she ended up not taking it. And then they offered me another one at like so I walk usually around 115.
Yeah.
So they offered a 125 girl. So I ended up taking it and yeah, we got out there. She was also I felt like, I don't know, at least, and maybe I'm just a little less like if somebody has my heel, if somebody's doing things like I'm gonna,
not gonna play
if
around.
if there's a decent bite on it, I might be more on the side of like tapping early. Just
and you have a day job. And
yeah, I was
like,
gonna say, I was like, I-
Need your legs.
yeah, I got to be on the ground with the kids all the time. I'm like, yeah. So, more power to her and stuff. But I felt like I had a decent bite. Granted, kind of hipped in a little better earlier on and stuff like that. You watch back and you're like, okay, you can work on A, B, or C. But that one was cool because I just felt like even leading up to it, I had been watching just like my old comp videos just to kind of like, and even then it was so weird. Like, it's kind of one of those where you kind of like half cringe and you're like, oh man,
like, why did I do that?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh man, because I was, little do about Terry. Compared to, I actually that super fight was now that I think about it was my first match at Purple. Yeah, so I didn't even so it was kind of funny watching stuff back. But so even then, comparing myself like to my old comp videos to now, it's cool to just see like especially that Fight to Win match. I feel like I was just like chaining and throwing things up.
She was on. I think, I mean, man, you turned on your walkout song and you were a different animal.
Alabama. That was so funny. It's me going every time.
And what were the chances of the guy previously like having that too?
So they messed
was it?
up.
Oh,
Yeah,
was it?
I was
I
pretty
was like-
sure they play. I was like,
Okay.
that's not his song.
Okay, I thought that okay, then I was wrong.
It's like, that's Terry's song.
I know.
I'm like, that's not
Like,
his.
what's happening?
But hey, I got to listen to it twice, which made it all the more.
I think that probably just
That's
like
what
put you
pushed
over
me
the
over.
edge. Oh,
Well, it's probably memorable for him too because he got the wrong song.
Yeah.
what is it like? Because that opponent for you, just taller, lankier. I mean, what's it like training with the different body sizes with you being generally the smallest person in the room?
Yeah.
Generally, I'm like, what is your thought on that? Like, how is it? Because you have a very specific game to deal with it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair. Even I was talking about this even
Yeah.
Will and I will drill stuff sometimes or practice different things, and even then it is interesting because we have like very different games, and even how he might finish some sort of leg lock is different than like the position I have to put myself in for it. But I think I'm so used to that in the training room as a whole that I'm
Yeah.
usually the shorter, smaller person. So going and competing against somebody bigger, taller isn't necessarily all that different than what I do on the day to day.
Yeah.
The difference actually for when I feel like when I compete against women compared to when I'm training with predominantly men, is that they are so much bendier. Like, you know, and generally speaking, they're so much more flexible. And so I think I have a harder time actually with that aspect of it sometimes. Because oh my gosh, I remember times like I could have like a full come or even the initial like the mirror lock that I initially put on, I was like, oh my God, like it hurt me. Almost. I was like,
Yeah, watching that, I'm like, how is this girl not tapping?
yeah. So but again, there's that different level of flexibility sometimes that for some of those submissions it can be a little harder, and or to be fair, you know, you can always sharpen up the finishing mechanics and stuff, but when you're there, it is different than kind of having to. I don't always have to take it to that range, you know, in training, so you don't always get that like that feel. So I'd say that was actually that's usually the adjustment that I have to do for it. But as far as some of the other like leg locks or stuff like that, most of the time, like no, I like doing different configurations to help just put me up where I need to be, and it does help even then. You know, you find like thankfully, especially now, like, you know, Joey's on the smaller end, and all that, and even knowing like other people, whether it's professionals or that you watch or like whatever, you can kind of sometimes pick and choose little things that you see from them, and you're like, oh, okay, like that makes sense. So that's usually how I approach it, at least.
Yeah, I like rolling with you because she's so small, but how do I get her off of me? And I'm just like, nothing is working because you have now developed such a same with your frames too, Christy. I'm just like, okay, yeah, she's got it. Now I actually have to think harder instead of just being the bigger one. Gosh darn it.
See, we do what we can around here, right, Terry? We do what we can. We got to work with what we have.
Yeah, I feel like in general, as being like a smaller person training, it's like, I think you just kind of learn earlier on that like there's a lot less room for error, because it's like, because you know, if the minute I let somebody, you know, like if you mount, I'm like, no, like this is not what I want to do. Don't want to go there. Exactly. You know, so it's like for me, a big part of it is just like prevention. Like that's why I try to just like keep myself inside, keep doing whatever, because I'm like, the minute I let I get sloppy with whatever, or I don't pay attention for a second and I let somebody get that advantage, it's like it's a little bit more of a, you know, again, not that it's not impossible to get out of like those bad positions and stuff, especially and all that, but it's just more of an uphill battle. I would say, you know, because
I try to make it very challenging for you. Okay.
So no, it works out, but so that's usually kind of more of what it is I think, and especially. I feel like it wasn't until this past year and a half-ish where now that I've been at Purple and like all that, where like the beginning of my jiu-jitsu was a lot more of just like being more defensively sound, I feel like. And it's been cool because I feel like this past year and a half has really been where I've like opened up my offense a lot more. So yeah. And honestly, even then, shout out to the gi, because I do think the gi helped me like be just so like more aware, hand fighting, more aware of like some of those defensive aspects of it and stuff. But yeah.
And speaking of hand fighting, if anybody notices Christy's little shiner, that wasn't from me.
It's just a hand fight. It's all good.
You have a black eye?
Yeah.
Under the glass.
I was just teasing her a little bit about it, but
It's really not that impressive.
sometimes the injuries happen in the sports, that, you know, when we are trying to take care of each other.
It was an accident. It's all good.
But we've all been like, that's kind of been the focus lately of the stand-up game.
Yeah,
and
the hand
fighting.
fighting.
So
It's part of it.
we're
It's
playing
all
with
good.
it, and I think it helped to like, you know, just elevate your game still for the chaining of everything together.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been cool. I feel like there's been definitely more focus, more intentional training on my end too, of like trying to pay attention to where like my weak spots are and trying to refine some of that. Like funny enough, even then I was mentioning to I think to Joey or whatever, because everyone here pretty much knows me as like a more on the guard player side of things and all that, which was not at all the case like a couple years ago. But it was just like, and I think part of that was a lot of times I was started as more of like a top player and all that, but then especially sometimes being the smaller person where I'd get like, you know, sometimes it was a borderline bench press from, you know, some of the guys or whatever. But I just realized that when I was on the bottom, I was not nearly as threatening. So I spent a bit of time just like forcing just playing guard and working off of that. So it's been cool to now kind of try to mesh it together a little bit more now that we've been doing stand up.
No, you want to stand up in, you know, since we've studied and detailed, you're like, you want to stand up every single time. I'm like, come on.
It's so fun.
No, I know.
Yeah. And we have a really good,
sit down.
we have fun standing up because we both have these little tiny arms. And like, our underhook battle is just like, well, we're going to be here a while.
I think that is like a unique thing that, and I obviously haven't trained at any other schools, but you have. I think that is a unique thing about our school and the curriculum that we have. We spent like 8 weeks on stand up, or 8 weeks on the guard. Like,
yeah, it's structured in a good way. I feel like where like sometimes, and it depends where you go, right?
Yeah.
Every school kind of does things differently, and there usually is, at least in my experience, most like good schools and stuff, and have some sort of general theme of like what they're going through and stuff. But it can be a little more like, okay, here's the technique that you're doing, and you just kind of like rip that out for a bit and all of that. But I feel like sometimes maybe you don't always like really get a good handle of like your awareness of how to enter it, how like what your goal is with it, and all of that.
Yeah, where to apply it, where this situation works.
Yeah, and even like when that
What they're
doesn't
gonna
work,
do.
what are you know, what are you doing after sort of thing and stuff like that. So I feel like now that it is more of like a dedicated like chunk of like, this is what we're working on, this is what we're doing, it is a little easier, at least for me, it's been easier to kind of like really focus and build off of like what that is. I've been it's kind of funny, like, yeah, like with Will, all kind of, and he has a wrestling background, you know, and stuff, but even then it's different. But I've been at the end of either like every practice or even like yesterday we both took like the day off of going to a gym, but we have a little mat strip there that I was like, all right, we're going. And I was like, I got to get at least, you know, whatever my reps are of like the couple things, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can integrate this into my game, and I've been trying to work. And like, you know, with you, I'm like, I'm always going for a flight with your hip tosses and stuff. So I'm always trying to bug you after. I'm like, okay, what should I be doing? You know, like help me out with this.
I mean, from 2 weeks ago to Friday, I'm like, I can't do what I want to do to you anymore.
I'm traveling a lot less often.
She's figuring it out, and I think that's like how much fun we're having.
battle.
Yeah, we're having like on our open mat days, like our class days and stuff. Kind of with the style that we're training here at Rail Movement Arts. So it's
yeah, so it's been fun. It's been good.
Definitely.
Yeah, we've definitely enjoyed having you.
Mhm.
It's been fun.
Happy to be here.
I have to go to the kids class to find someone. So you can.
That's fair.
Yeah, you guys are getting the every day is absolutes.
Yeah.
T-shirts.
Even some of the kids are like bigger than us.
Sometimes
They are. I mean, working in a school, you know how many times a day I hear, Miss Grace, I'm your size.
Yeah.
I'm almost your size. I mean, like all day, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty great.
That's size, shape, different types. But I was going to ask Terry, like, it's hard for women to come into jiu-jitsu, and I mean, I appreciate that. Like, you just decided, I'm gonna do this at this gym here, and I'm gonna lift, and I'm gonna get into it, and you respected the sport. Did you have like an athletic background, upbringing? Did you do some high school sports too?
I grew up doing taekwondo.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe for longer than I'd like to admit that I did that. I was in and out for a bit too with that.
Oh,
but,
she's got her black belt in taekwondo. Yes, she sure does.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So yeah, and very different though, because you're pretty much only on the feet for that.
Yeah.
But I will say that I feel like it gave me like a good sense of body awareness sort of thing, you know? So that aspect, and then, and honestly, just kind of like, I still have some of the flexibility from back then. I don't. I should be better about, so I'm a physical therapist. I should be better about like what I tell my people to do. Of, like,
you can give the advice you don't follow.
Yeah, I
no,
gotta work on that better.
So we're not in fear of any head kicks right now.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah, but that was really my main, like that was
And
really
did you
the
have
only thing.
Siblings though? Did you have brothers and
3
sisters?
brothers. Oh,
yeah.
One
Okay.
older,
Born
2
fighting.
younger.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And the 2 younger ones didn't take long for them to get taller than me,
Yeah.
which my authority really went out the window after they were like, well, I'm bigger than you, so you know. And I was like, but I can still beat you up.
yes. Bigger they are, the harder they fall.
It was funny. I remember one time I was babysitting them, and like my parents had just left. My brother did not waste time trying to like, you know, start something. And I just remember having him like pinned on the ground, and like I was, and it was like my parents like walked back in because they needed to like they forgot something. And they just kind of like looked over and then just like closed the door.
Like, he deserves it.
Yeah, so
That's funny.
So it was funny. And even then, like I'll go home, or like I'll go back to California. Well, home is Illinois, but I'll go back to like my dad and my
Families
brothers and
all
stuff
over.
out in California. And every once in a while, like one of my brothers, he'll be the kind of like, whatever, we're in the kitchen, we're doing whatever, and he just randomly will be like, and like throw a punch, and most of the time I'll either like block him somehow and or retaliate. And he's like, all right, I still respect you. I'm like, okay,
Nice.
cool. Like,
So
awesome.
wait until you throw him down. Like you're just gonna like go in for the body lock and then just take him over your leg. That one I dubbed the Taylor special though.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
definitely
if you
has
want
that.
advice beating up your siblings. If you want advice beating up your siblings.
Yeah.
there you go. It's a good way to practice.
Talk to those two.
Yeah, so it's fun having some of that surrounding, but nowadays they're like it's fun. My older brother, which you kind of think is the one sometimes that would be more of the he's like the calm one. We never it's the 2 younger ones that are always
I hear it's the younger children that are problematic. I'm an
messy.
older.
That's
That was
Taylor.
it's probably just the bossy bully of one brother. I never knew how sisters fight until
So you saw those
Oh
guys.
yeah, and it doesn't matter how old. Even
Yeah.
today, Dakota and I were like going at it. I was like, I'm gonna beat you up. Like, it's just driving me crazy.
That's
She's
funny.
like, you're driving me crazy. I'm like,
She should have got on the mats then, and you guys could have had it out today. Just saying.
No,
no.
yeah, honestly,
Right.
another like I guess experience that's well, I don't know, not to be weird and like compare the two, but like dating somebody in the sport is also because like we'll be one of the classic like hug and then like you know whatever sort of thing from there. But yeah, having your significant other also being in the sport is a very interesting dynamic too.
And you guys live together, right?
Yeah.
So is there's like no escape? Or how is that
Okay.
dynamic?
Honestly, because the man loves jujitsu, and I love jujitsu, but he like
there's a different level with him.
Obsesses.
Like
Yeah,
you can
little.
just tell.
He snores jujitsu.
no, but we have a 5-minute rule, which really only gets me implementing it to him. It really never goes the other way. But it's kind of my my gentle nudge of like, we've been talking about this for a while. Let's change the subject
Yes.
now. So sometimes if he gets really caught into talking about whether it's what happened at training or something he was watching or like whatever it is, and it's
Because
like,
he's so detail oriented too.
yeah, he's very cerebral about it, which is interesting because like we are very different and like and in how we approach jujitsu in general. And it's funny, it's kind of a backhanded compliment sometimes that I get, or like a comment that I'll get, but like people always assume, I think, that like we started together, or that like I started because of him, or that like, you know, different things like that.
That's a whole other podcast episode of things we could talk about that are assumed.
And which is funny because I've been doing strictly jujitsu longer than he has, but you know, he wrestled for like 8 years, sort of thing. Yeah, so he had a good foundation going into it. But and even then, this is the first time that we're actually like teammates.
Okay.
Before this,
nice.
we've been at separate gyms. Before, like obviously we cross train at each other's gyms and stuff like that before. But this is the first time that now we train together too. But I feel like we do a pretty good job. We're
Yeah,
like,
I
it's
think
not
you
like
guys have
we're-
made it
Yeah.
We're
work.
kind of
Yeah.
he normally goes in the big room anyway, and then,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah. But the other thing with that is like people will sometimes be like, oh yeah, oh you're so good at A, B, or C. I mean, you train with Will a lot, don't you? You know, and I'm
Yeah.
always kind of like, I'm like,
Will
I
trains
mean,
with me.
yeah. I'm like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, like, yes, he does help me a lot with like, and him and I have even
Because
had
you
this
guys have a really
conversation.
good rapport though, like
Yeah.
as training partners. So that probably helps a lot too.
Yeah, and so like at home we like I'll definitely pick his brain about different things,
Yeah.
or sometimes I'll randomly be like, hey, can I try A, B, or C, and we will help each other though on like
Yeah.
different
Yes.
details of things and stuff too, but yeah, so that's always like an interesting dynamic too, having like your significant other be like training with you and all that. But it is interesting just because I feel like we have very different approaches and styles within
Yeah.
it too, but it's cool because we do learn different things off of each other and all that. But yeah, he is very cerebral, like watches instructionals, watches professional matches, like watches all this content and can just like soak it all in like
Yeah.
that. I feel like I'm very much more of just like, I don't know, like half the time I feel like you after like I just like
Tell me how to do it again. No.
yeah, I'm like I'll do things. I'm more hands on.
Yeah.
I guess
Yes.
like I
That's fine. There's many different learning styles.
yeah, like Will can, if you ask him, hey, how do you do A, B, or C? He can walk you through it step by step by step, and it's great. Me, I'm like, how do I do? I'm like,
Yeah.
let me see. And I have to like get in there
Feel it.
and kind of go through that. So yeah, it's just cool to see like even though yes, we all do the sport, everyone has such a different approach to how they
Yeah.
learn, how they train, and how they do all of that too.
Yeah.
No,
for
Will has
sure.
gotten definitely a lot better because of you.
I really do think that is something special that you have, like
Yeah.
training with your significant other, and like first just sharing the passion of jiu-jitsu, but
Yeah.
now being teammates. I think that's
Yeah,
like
it's
a really,
different. But
really cool thing to have with someone.
I agree. And we love having
Well,
you guys
Christy and I
here.
have been going, we got to get back on the dating apps. How are we going to explain jujitsu to a non-jujitsu man? And, like the dream is to have the jujitsu boyfriend. That's sweet.
got our
Like,
dream team.
yeah. but it's like
I won't lie to you.
like the practicality of it,
Yeah.
or the like is probably not as
It doesn't always
as
work. I'll say that
And then
much.
when-
It
I think
doesn't always
she
work.
and I have been around long enough to see when it does not work.
Yeah, so that's where I say like
Yeah.
I feel like the nice thing is like I do feel like we have a healthy and honestly I
Boundaries,
think
yeah,
the
too.
fact that we didn't train together for so long kind of helped that because like we're used to not really having to be like at the hip
Yeah.
during training or stuff like that, and even then like there are days I come that he doesn't and vice versa
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But yeah, it is funny because not intentionally, but like past relationships have been with like grapplers and stuff too, and I'm like, I mean, Will is the long term, plan and all that. But if for whatever
good
reason that wasn't a thing anymore, I'm like, it'd be so weird the thought of like not being with somebody.
I know. I'm like, how is this going to work for us someday? When we get back there. But yeah, Billy doesn't. He came for your birthday.
I was gonna say because you,
Yeah. So
one type of training, one day.
I started when I was dating jiu-jitsu. When I was married to the sport.
Jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
is a
When I
mistress.
started jiu-jitsu, we were already dating.
Yeah.
And it was just like a 3 times a week thing.
Oh,
yeah.
And now she lives here.
Now I'm like so involved and like
Mhm.
obviously like Joey's my family and like everyone's my family now. It's
Mhm.
like this is my second home.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like
I feel that.
he has been very patient with me.
Yeah.
And he did finally come to a class for my birthday.
It was
but-
very sweet.
It was so sweet.
Yeah.
And we were trying really hard to get him to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We did our
What
best.
sport doesn't he
He golfs.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought he was like really into that too. So at least he has something he's like
Oh yeah,
doing.
yeah, he golfs.
Mhm.
You know, like, oh, you're going to be at the gym for like 4 hours. I'm going to go do 9 holes.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah. That works.
And I think that works out well. Do you though try and like practice leg locks on him and stuff when he's
Oh,
yeah.
I was going to say, you know that has to happen.
and he's like, "What's happening?" Like,
Yeah.
just don't freak out.
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Don't move.
Just
I'm
don't move.
I'm going to do a thing.
Yeah.
Great to see. Terry caught me in this the other day.
Yeah.
Well, don't.
So getting back to women,
Sorry.
enough of these men. What is something that you wish someone would have told you or maybe advised you on when you first started? Maybe given like, maybe kind of expecting like how close we get with people and like physical touch and things like that. What's something that you wish someone would have told you?
I think at the beginning, especially, I would have appreciated or knowing just going into it. I should say that like it's okay to, and you should kind of like know your boundaries going into it, establish those within either yourself, with whoever your partners are and stuff like that, and just know that it's okay to like not just be fully into it, not be fully immersed at the start. I remember I actually used to say that like, because I would get like panic attacks in between. Like sometimes I'd be rolling and then like out of nowhere it just became too much sort of thing. And I would go and I would always just call them like, oh, I was like, I have sports induced asthma, sort of thing. So I would just call it that because I just wasn't really
Comfortable
at a
with
point. Yeah, I had just started out. I just wasn't really at a point where I felt comfortable sharing like anything and stuff like that. So I think kind of knowing early on that like it is an intense sport, both in the physical aspect and also in the mental aspect. And that's okay. Like it is okay to not just be somebody that can like go into it, go do the full thing and go like be gun-ho about it. Like you should give yourself grace and be patient with yourself within it, both in the aspect of getting comfortable within the sport and also even like with your own progress and stuff. Because I think we all can say we're tough critics with ourselves. And I think like even for myself, when I was always like, I'm competitive. So like in my head, it'd be like, oh, well, like I didn't win that match or like I didn't, like match in training sort of thing. And I think it was more about like learning to celebrate like the little things within it that are still a gauge of your progress. It's not always because it can be hard to like compare you, and you shouldn't be comparing your progress to anyone in general, but like compare like how you're rolling against somebody that isn't necessarily like representative of your true competition and stuff like that, because there are differences if I'm rolling with one of you in the room versus like versus one of the guys out there and stuff. And so learning to, instead of, for me at least, being like, oh, okay, well, I lost this, but I got beat up in that match or whatever it was. But hey, I had made this goal for myself of like whether it was staying on top or working on a certain pass or doing whatever, and finding those like little nuggets of the things that like this was my kind of like goal or intention of like what I wanted to work on and stuff. And so celebrating like that progress too, because I think for me for a while it was hard to like really understand like
the differentiation between that feeling and
and especially like when you're newer in the sport, like you just think like, okay, well, you don't always maybe understand all of the nuances of it and stuff, so you're just like, oh, I just got beat up the whole time, like I don't you don't always feel like you're getting better. And so really having like that patience for yourself as you start out, because it takes a long time to like understand the different positions, understand how to like even the purpose of what you're doing within that. And to be fair, like I'm still learning that in certain,
all of the time,
in
always
certain,
learning.
Exactly. So yeah, just understanding that like it's gonna take time to build up those kinds of things, and that's at least part of what I love about it now. It's if I could just master it in 6 months, then what would be the point? Sort of thing. It's like you're you're constantly.
I know
going
hindsight's
from it.
2020, but do you think it would have made a difference if your gym had offered a women's only program at your very beginning? Or, I mean, you got to where you needed to be, I
Yeah.
think is what it is. But
Yeah, and to be fair, they might have had like I'm trying to remember. They like because I started at a gym and then they ended up moving to a different spot, and I followed them through that. And I think honestly, I think part of it they had it like once a week maybe, but I don't know if it was super consistent how often
okay.
they had it on. But yeah, so I think they offered it, and the
didn't-
scheduling
yeah.
wise
Yeah.
didn't really work for me, and I know that like logistically, I think most of the time like women's classes are the kind of more on the once a week side or something more like that. But yeah, so honestly, I think they did offer it, but I just never really it just never really worked out with my schedule. But I do think it is beneficial, especially for like that initial comfort level of things and
yeah.
getting like
Yeah.
that understanding of what the sport is and what you're getting yourself into, really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Taylor, you've been what 2 years now with the women's program? Gosh, I feel like it's been
Wow. Yeah. I
yeah,
guess.
Is it?
because
Wow.
it, like, even so,
Lost
and,
track.
and classes are still what you would say small. If you're comparing it to our co-ed classes
Yeah.
with just
Yeah.
you know the dudes on the mats and the sizes, but consistently, you're building the program and starting to see more people explore. I think, which
Yeah.
is kind
I
of what
mean,
we want more women
I think
to
we get
do.
like a new person, I would say kind of reaches out, I would say at least once a month if we're lucky, and we only have 4 classes a month. But now with our new setup, for those of you who don't know, our school just rearranged a little bit. So we have one big mat now and one smaller mat, which is kind of like double of our space what we had before. So we are going to be offering more women's classes, maybe once during the week and then once on the weekend. I do have
Yeah.
a day job though, so
Well, right. And so
I would love to be here every day, but
and this one does too. But she's
Yeah.
also done some great instruction.
Yeah.
Except school is starting again. Well,
Yeah, but I told her I'd help her out,
Absolutely.
like on
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
kind of.
So kind of
on.
coming soon, offering more just because people do want their weekends to hang out with their kids and like
Yeah.
vacations and stuff. So getting one more class during the week would be, hopefully we could get a big group of ladies come in so we could
ideally,
Yeah.
and
upsize the
fun.
guys.
there has been like some talk, not for us specifically, our programs that like women go to their women's class and then they don't roll or they don't go but
Yeah.
that's also a comfort thing. I think it takes time and consistency to build up, but I like the idea of being able to say, hey, you can stick around for this next class. It's co-ed, but maybe you want to roll, or we can stay a little bit longer and try some of these other techniques.
Well, and now we have the space where
Which,
we can
helps.
roll after class.
Yeah, that'll work.
And
out.
then the gi co-ed class can start going on, and we still have our own little area.
Because, we'd like more women to explore and show up, but it's really hard to like step over that threshold and like watch some buffoon like being thrown around by her big friend because like she's done this for years, and then they're like, I have to do that. You don't.
I try to rope all the ladies in that come to strength and conditioning. I'm like, hey,
you
you
wanna
should
try
come.
this?
Yeah.
And they see me and I'm like, it's great.
No, honestly, I
Yeah.
always like because if I go cross train or go check out like a different open mat or whatever, granted, at least for me now, like I'm kind of at the level where I can like just observe for a bit and see kind of who's a more controlled round, who's a more like maybe like maybe I'm staying away from you a little sort of thing. But even then, I was always appreciative of like if I went to another gym and like even just one of the other ladies kind of being like, hey, who's a good roll around here? Like who's somebody
Okay.
that's a good, and that honestly helps. I feel like and granted, I'm at a level where I'm comfortable asking usually, and because most of the time I kind of know some of the women there anyway. But even I think just something in mind for like some newer women is like kind of helping them like know who is a good round or like helping just introduce them to like some of the guys with that wherever people are training at.
We have
Just
lots of
'cause,
allies.
Yeah.
We're very lucky.
It can be intimidating to just like sit there and like watch everyone and you don't know.
But luckily we had brothers, and
most
I'm
of
just
them.
like looking at these going, oh my God, I just punch you in the face. I'd lock you in a in the closet. No.
Yeah, because if you're newer to the sport,
If we were 10, it's on.
yeah, but it's like if you're newer to the sport, like everyone looks intense, you know, if you're just watching on the sidelines. But
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but you know, if you have somebody there to kind of like help guide you of like, hey, you know, and even then, you know, communicating, I think as a newer woman in the sport, I think it's also important to just like communicate to your partner, like, hey, I'm newer at this, you know, like I just started and stuff like that, and you know, most people are.
It's hard to say out loud. I'm a little scared, but it's also okay.
Yeah,
Like, perfectly okay. Yeah. I do it all the time. I'm terrified right now, like in the middle of something.
That's fair.
Well, Terry, any last minute thoughts?
Yeah.
This was an excellent, excellent podcast. Any
girly.
words of advice or anything you want to share?
Or what would you like to hear about? Like, what is your thing about women in jiu-jitsu, like the topic that interests you most? And maybe we can look into it more. All those sorts of things. Advice, what you want to see the sport aspect of jiu-jitsu for women.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my general thoughts for whether it's newcomers or experienced, it's always you know, like I kind of said before, it's just like be patient with yourself, give yourself grace, have also I guess just have that confidence in yourself, which I need to work on too, but knowing that like even the fact that you're out on the mats, like that is a hard thing that, you know, not many people as a whole do, and then dial it down, not that many women do. So within that is like, give yourself credit for doing that, because it takes a lot to get out there and do that kind of thing. So within that, and yeah, you know, little by little, you keep building there. And then as far as anything to hear in the future, I mean, I will be interested, I guess, my bias, since now I'm going into competing again and stuff too, is just more stories about some of the experiences of whether it's like navigating weight cuts or navigating like different types of, whether it's rule sets or styles or whatever within matches, and how people kind of like, you know, get themselves
in the mindset, in the focus. Absolutely.
Yeah, because honestly, I think that's most of the time, at least for myself, the hardest part with competing is getting my mindset there most of the time. It's because when I really think about it, I'm like, I know I put in the work physically, like and even then it's cool, because I do feel like within myself I can tell when I'm like making that switch of like, okay, comp is a couple weeks out, like I'm more focused on like what I'm doing versus, you know, like sometimes which there's nothing wrong with just having fun at training. That is so important too. Yeah,
we definitely do.
I definitely all right. But even then, it's important to just also have fun with training and go through like your bouts of like times when you are maybe like analyzing yourself more, and also times when you're just kind of playing around with it, doing whatever you want to do with it, and stuff like that too. Because I don't know, at least for me, I think even outside of competition, there was a time period where I was just analyzing everything, and I was, of course, always just picking out what I needed to work on versus like the good stuff that was happening, and it kind of took away the fun for a bit. So just having fun with it too is cool. So a little bit more mindset type things. I think it's always interesting to hear how different people approach it and whatnot. So,
Me too.
Perfect. Sounds good. Yeah.
Well,
this was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So I don't know if we're going to do a sign off or anything, or we're going to get a theme pretty soon. You want
we
to
should hit a button, but not the pink one, because that was boring.
No, we already.
How about
learned
purple?
about
All right.
Go with the purple.
Oh.
Well. Oh no.
Oh, did that just like change your voice?
It did.
It did. Was it? I thought we were like,
maybe
hey,
we should
people
plan
just
on buttons.
sign off.
all right, bye.
All right. Thanks. We'll talk with you guys soon.
Thank you.
Have a great day.